What's up, YouTube? Your boy back once again with another sport topic. And today we're going to talk some football, Houston Texans football. Today we're going to talk about one of the best receivers in the NFL and somebody that's definitely about to come for that top 5 spot, in my opinion, already there and looking at being at the number 1 spot. We're going to talk about, we're going to break it down. But before we get in there, like I'm tell y'all before, man, if you're liking the content, make sure you're liking the channel. Make sure you're watching all the videos. Make sure you comment all the videos. You liking all the videos. You sharing all the videos on all social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, any type of social media platform you use. Make sure you share on them same social media platforms. Also, follow me on social media as well. The link in the description below. We still trying to get this channel growing and growing and growing and growing. So you know what that means? I need y'all to help me out. I need y'all to do your parts. I need y'all to tell a friend, so they could tell a friend, so they could tell a friend, so they could tell some more friends, so they could tell some more friends, and put them on game with the channel. We get the channel growing and growing and growing and growing. Really, really appreciate that. Now, let's talk about it because I think that Nico Collins is one of the best receivers in the NFL. I said that in the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season, I was calling him the best receiver in the NFL. Now, Jamar Chase has went out there and went and got the triple crown, so I will sit there and say that Jamar Chase is the best receiver in the NFL. But don't let it be twisted. Nico's not that far behind. When Nico got hurt in week 5, Nico led the NFL, was the NFL leading receiver by over 100 yards. The following week that he didn't play, when we played against the Patriots, he was still the NFL's leading receiver, maybe by about 50 some yards, maybe 40, 50 yards, somewhere in that realm. The following week, he was second in the league in yards after being out for 2.5 weeks. Because remember, he got hurt and only played like the first quarter of the Buffalo Bills game. So it took about a couple of weeks. It took almost the entirety of his 5 weeks that he missed for him to be not even in the top 10. Now, he only got a little bit over 1,000 yards because of how the offense stalled out throughout the middle of the season and things like that. And the offense was trying to find this groove. But we've seen how the offense looked that last game against Tennessee when they came out there on the first drive, and CJ and him and Joe Mixon all looked crisp. He was able to get his 1,000 yards, able to get a touchdown. Everything looked good and flowing on that first drive. And again, it started off a little rocky against the Chargers on Saturday. It really did. I mean, one, they wasn't even targeting. I know they wasn't even targeting Nico Collins. It took a while for them to even target Nico Collins. They were targeting a lot of Mechie and things like that. But once they found their groove, and once they started looking at number 12, it was over and it was a wrap. Nico Collins was targeted 8 times, had 7 catches for 122 yards, averaging 17.4 yards a catch, 1 touchdown, and had a long 41-yard catch on a crucial third down coming out of halftime. Now, that drive was the drive that ended when we tried to do the halfback pass and Joe Mixon fumbled, so we wasn't able to cash in points. But Nico was showing you once Nico groove started getting in, he started getting into his groove. It was hard for the Chargers to stop. They could not find and stop number 12, and he's showing you the type of receiver that he is. That he is truly one of them ones. Being a third-round pick, a guy who got paid in all season. A lot of people's questions: should Nico Collins get paid? Should he play on this last season? Should we wait to pay him because of the whole injury issue? Hasn't played the full season. Still, to his credit, hasn't yet played the full season. But he's showing you when he's out there, he's one of the best receivers in the NFL. Remember, his last play before he got hurt and missed those 5 games was a 62-yard touchdown against the Buffalo Bills. His next catch was a 70-yard touchdown that got called back because of Tunsil was a legal lineman downfield. They had no bearings on the play. He would still scored that touchdown if Tunsil doesn't get that penalty. So that penalty basically robbed him of 60, 70 yards and a touchdown. And then the following week against Tennessee, remember, he had that 30-yard touchdown that would have won the game. He got called back behind the illegal shift. Either Joe Mixon and the Tank, not clear on which one was the one who shifted. Both of them were both in motion at the same time, and they called the penalty because you can't have 2 players on the offense in motion. Somebody has to reset before you can snap the football. So both of that penalty, once again, had no bearings on if Nico was going to make that play and score a touchdown in both situations, and both of those touchdowns, long yardage touchdowns, got called back. So that's the type of player and type of weapon that Nico is. Because Nico is just that. He's an absolute weapon, and he's hard to stop. One of the reasons why it kind of frustrates me that when we get into the red zone, why we just don't look on number 12's way. Like, why we try to do all these other funky stuff that we try to do? Either run the football with Joe Mixon or look in 12's direction because he's sitting up there at 6'4". Throw the football in his direction, and he's going to come down with it like other teams do to their other big play receivers. And again, Nico is that. I believe that Nico definitely is, at this moment, right now today, a top 5 receiver in the NFL. I don't care what nobody says. I believe that Nico Collins is a top 5 receiver in the NFL right now. Now, does it some of that have to do with CJ? Because we wasn't thinking about that before CJ Stroud became the quarterback for the Houston Texans. So I definitely believe it goes hand in hand. But make no mistake about it. Nico is worth every single penny that Nick Caserio paid him this offseason, and really we got him on the cheap. Luckily for us that he took that type of contract, and I know he probably took that type of contract because looking on his injury history, it's better for me to take this type of contract now than try to bail myself and I don't have the same type of season, or I have injuries or whatever the case may be, and I miss a lot of time, which he ended up missing a little 5 games rather. Miss a lot of time, and I don't be able to cash in because the trajectory that he was on before he got hurt, we talking about close to a $30 million player, and we're paying him at 24. He's getting 24 million a year right now. The way he was playing, the way he started off the season, we're talking about a guy that we would have been paying $30 million to, or close to it. If not 30, we've been reaching very, very, very close to that 30 million. And be honest, he's deserving because he's just that. He's a guy he breaks the coverages up. Like, he breaks double teams. He's a coverage breaker. He's a coverage breather. He's a guy who can beat one-on-ones. He's a guy who it don't matter if he's being double teamed. It doesn't matter if he's being double teamed. We're able to throw the football. I mean, double cover. He's able to be double cover. He's able to throw the football in his direction, and he's going to come down with it. Very rarely does he not come down with the football. When CJ does his little scramble drill and he's bailing out the pocket, he's looking for 12. He's throwing all like this. I know the game Saturday he threw the Hutchinson, but normally when CJ's running around crazy and doing all type of stuff, and he's throwing the football up in the air, number 12 is the one that comes down with it. And that's the reason why 12 was able to get his first Pro Bowl selection, well deserved, by the way. So that's the type of receiver that he is. And I feel like that he is one of the best receivers in the NFL, period. And one of the best receivers that's currently playing this playoffs right now. And I think that Kansas City is definitely going to see something about it. Now, the last time we went up to Kansas City, it was more so Tank Dell that was the guy that was out there basically getting everything that he wanted in that game. It was more so Tank Dell. Before Tank Dell got hurt, Tank Dell got 99 yards in the touchdown. Tank Dell was getting everything that he wanted in that game. And I do believe he was an absolute mismatch for them. But I think that Nico is one of them ones as well. A guy that's played already in 3 playoff games for the Houston Texans, has 18 catches, 286 yards, and 2 touchdowns already. He's already having good playoff performances. 2 of his 3 playoff performances have been great. Have been great. Like I said, this past one against the Chargers, 122 yards and a touchdown. Last year had 96 yards and a touchdown. And the only reason why it was only 96, it was because we took CJ out midway through the third quarter. Like, we took the starters out midway through the third quarter because after we had those 2 pick sixes by Christian Harris and I can't think of his name right now. The cornerback, can't think of his name right now. Steven Nelson. After we had those 2 pick sixes by Steven Nelson and Christian Harris, really the Texans offense didn't have to do anything. And that's the only reason why Nico didn't have over 100 yards and why CJ didn't have over 300 yards, because we were out there dominating the Cleveland Browns like that. Now, the game against the Ravens is a whole nother story. Again, the Texans have to figure out a way to go up into Baltimore and play Baltimore, able to put points on the board, because we have yet, under CJ and DeMeco Ryans, have yet to score a touchdown against the Baltimore Ravens. So we got to figure that out. But other than that, when Nico's in the playoffs, Nico has been playing superbly. He's been playing great. He's been playing phenomenal. Whatever word you want to use, that's how he's been playing. He's looking like one of those receivers. He's definitely one of the best receivers in the NFL and one of the best receivers right now in the postseason. You can make a case. that he's the best receiver in the playoffs. Again, if you want to make that case, I'm not going to argue if he's the best receiver in the playoffs. I'm not going to argue that. I know it's a Justin Jefferson in the playoffs. I understand that. I get that. I understand that. I know there's an AJ Brown. I understand that. I get all that. I know it's a scary Terry. I understand that. Don't get me wrong. I understand that these receivers are in the playoffs playing right now. But I believe that um Nico deserves to be in that conversation. He definitely deserves to be in that top five conversation. And he's definitely the Houston Texans, obviously, the Houston Texans number one receiver, the best receiver on the Texans right now, and the best weapon offensively outside Joe Mixon for CJ. And again, you can make the case that he's the best weapon on the offense for the Houston Texans. You can make that case right now. You can make the case that the offense operates different when number 12 is no longer out there. You could, because those 5 games that he missed was very, very missed. I know we had the blowout game against the Patriots, but that was the Patriots, and that was Drake May making his first start. So you can make a case that this offense operates completely different with 12 not out there. And again, that's understandable. Like, look at a lot of young quarterbacks, not even just young quarterbacks, veteran quarterbacks in general, but especially young quarterbacks. They look different when they number one receiver not out there. They look completely different when they number one receiver not out there. So that's completely understandable. The offense looks different when their guy's not out there. So I believe that Nico is one of the best receivers in the NFL playing right now, and one of the best receivers in the playoffs, obviously. And I think he's a guy that other teams definitely have to account for and have to look out for, because he's just that good. He's just that good. And hey, again, we got him on the cheap, we got him on the bargain, and he's going out there in the playoffs when it counts the most. When it counts the most, and cash it in, and that's playing off huge dividends for the Houston Texans right now. It's playing off big for the Houston Texans, the type of plays that he's making and the way that this offense is looking when 12 is out there, and how he's just a complete mismatch for the defenders. Like, they do not know how to stop him. Anytime he catches the football, he's breaking tackles. Like on that 41-yard run, he's catching the football, he's throwing somebody here, he's running and moving, he's throwing somebody over there. He's playing absolute bully ball against the defenders, throwing them around like rag dolls, just completely throwing them all the way around like rag dolls. That's the type of receiver that he is. That's the type of receiver he is. And again, it's phenomenal football. It's great. It's great to watch. And again, it's a huge security blanket for CJ Stroud, able to go up and look, say, hey, I got 12 right there. I'm throwing the football in his direction. He's going to come down with it, and he's going to make a play. And that's something that this Texan offense desperately needs pretty much throughout the entirety of the season. We just need guys to make plays. And 12 is a guy that definitely goes out there and makes plays. Hence why he's one of the best receivers in the NFL and one of the best receivers currently right now playing the playoffs. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't, comment below. If you haven't, click that bell, get more videos. Holla.